Hello? Hello, everyone. I'm back.
What is happening? Supernova here, back with another video. And ladies and gentlemen, I am home. I am no longer in the hospital. I was there for 2 weeks. I'm finally home. I want to thank all you guys for the kind words you sent me while I was in there. But yes, I am indeed back, and it does feel fucking fantastic. Now, as soon as I got home, the first thing I did was power through The Last of Us Part 2. And I'm going to give you my review today, because there are some things that I need to say about this game, both good and bad. Before I get into my review, I want to discuss the review bombs that happened on Metacritic for this game. Now, the second the embargo lifted for the user reviews, it instantly got hammered with 0 out of 10 and 3 out of 10 and all this other bullshit. Now, I just want to point out that the average completion time for this game is between 20 and 25 hours. Yet somehow these magicians were able to complete this game in less than an hour and have reviews for Metacritic. Just wanted to throw it out there because I thought it was pretty fucking hilarious. Now, with that being said, I'm going to get into my review of The Last of Us 2. Now, I'm just going to be saying this off the top of my head. I'm not reading from a script. I don't have any notes. So it may kind of be all over the place, but I'm going to try to keep it as concise as possible so that you can understand what I'm saying. So let's start with the good. And the good right off the bat, of course, is going to be the graphics. Graphically, this has to be, bar none, the best looking game I've ever played on my PlayStation 4 Pro. It looks better than Red Dead Redemption 2, it looks better than God of War, it looks better than Horizon Zero Dawn, it looks better than anything I've played. And it's not just because of how good the graphics are, it's because of how detailed the environments are. It's because of how good the animations are and the facial animations. Everything just looks so good. It's this just complete package of 100% quality and polish that I don't think anything else has come close to touching how fucking good this game looks. Like I said, in all areas, in terms of the environments, the details in the environments, the facial animations on the characters, when you're stealth killing enemies and they're being choked the fuck out, the looks on their faces, it's insane how good stuff looks. Like, I constantly find myself playing the game and thinking, Jesus, this fucking looks good. And the transitions between gameplay to cutscenes are so seamless, and the cutscenes are so good that oftentimes you almost forget that you're watching a cutscene in a game and almost feel like you're just watching people in a movie. It really is fucking amazing. It's just, there's nothing else that's come close to being as good looking as this game is. Then there's the sound design. Everything from gunshots to explosions to the squealing, wheezing noise people make as you stab them in the throat, to the sounds the clickers make, to the sound that the stalkers make and the bloaters. Just everything in this game sounds so good. And then you have the music that just adds this ambience to every scene that you're in and makes certain engagements feel so fucking tense. The sound design and music in this game is just top notch. And then, of course, the voice acting. As always with Naughty Dog, the voice acting is fucking second to none. It is among the best that there is, with some slight exceptions. One example being a flashback scene between Abby and her father, where the dialogue just felt kind of cheesy and didn't feel as natural as dialogue normally feels in these games. It also almost felt like the people were not recording together, like they just recorded their lines separately. Like, for some reason, that particular scene stood out to me as not being on the same level as the rest of the things I was seeing in the game. But I mean, that happening, those scenes where that happens are few and far between. 99% of the scenes and the voice acting in this game are right up there with the best you can think of, with the Red Dead Redemption 2s, with the Uncharted's, with the first The Last of Us. It is top-notch voice acting. The next thing is the gameplay. The gameplay is amazing. The evolution of the gameplay from the first game, adding the ability to go prone, adding that dodge button. Although they may seem like small things, they make a huge difference in the way you play this game. That, in conjunction with the smarter enemy AI and the far better level design with much more verticality and wide open spaces, making it so you can tackle different engagements from all kinds of different areas, really switch up how you play this game. And I fucking love the gameplay for this game, especially because of how I like to play. Like, I'm the type of person that when I get into an engagement or an encounter, I fucking stealth kill everybody. Like Neil Druckmann said, oh, you know, sometimes you can just run past people or sometimes you can bypass people. And no. I fucking stealth kill everybody. I go straight up Sam Fisher, solid snake on these motherfuckers. And I want clean runs. If I get spotted, even though I can continue to play and fight, you know, and then progress, no, that's not good enough for me. The second I get spotted, I hit start, go down, bam, restart the fucking encounter, and I do it again until I get my fucking clean run. But that's me. That's how I like to play the game. So for me, I love the gameplay for this game. Now, to the people I've seen online saying shit like, man, the fucking gameplay's trash, or this fucking gameplay's garbage, 0 out of 10 for the gameplay. Have you not played a Naughty Dog game in the last fucking decade? They all play like this. So if you think the gameplay for The Last of Us 2 is garbage, why the fuck are you playing The Last of Us 2? Clearly, this is a type of game that you do not like, that does not gel with you, so why are you playing it? That's like someone who hates playing games that are punishingly difficult, playing Sekiro and then saying, bro, the fucking gameplay's trash. You don't like those types of games. Why the fuck are you playing it? I got so upset seeing people say that the fucking gameplay's trash. It's like, it is not trash. It is just not what you like. Why are you playing this fucking game? Now, before I get into the things about the game that I didn't care for, didn't like, I want to touch upon the story really quick. Because now, having completed the game and having all of the context, the story in the game is really not that bad, or as bad as I thought it was going to be. I honestly think, had the leaks not happened and people just played the game naturally and found out the story naturally through the progression of the game, that their attitude towards the story and the game would be very, very different. I think a lot of people are just unable to fucking take their anger from the leaks and put it to the side and look at the game for what it is, because the story is not that bad. And people that are angry or upset at the game because Joel died, Joel deserved to die. Joel walked into a surgical room full of doctors, innocent doctors, and killed everybody for selfish reasons, and then doomed humanity by not allowing them to extract what they needed from Ellie's brain to create a possible vaccine to the cordyceps virus. I have no issue with Abby wanting to kill Joel for Joel killing her father. Did I want Joel to die? Fuck no. Did Joel dying make me happy? Absolutely not. But do I understand the motivation for Abby wanting to kill Joel and then understand the act taking place itself? Yes. So all of you people that are upset or think it's bad that Abby killed Joel for whatever fucking dumb reason, you must also be mad about Ellie killing anybody in this entire game. Because Ellie is killing people for the exact same reason that Abby killed Joel. It is literally the same thing. Now let me get to the first thing about the game that I really didn't care for. And that is, I just don't give a fuck about Abby. The game tries so hard to make you like Abby, or to make you see where Abby's coming from, or to make you see her point of view, and to make you see that she's a nice, kind person. But the thing is that I don't care. After she beat Joel's brains in with a golf club, I don't give a shit about anything that she does or says. I don't care. And I really didn't like that for half the game, literally 50% of the game, you have to play as this character that brutally killed another character you love.
Why would you do that?
Like I said, I understand her motivation, I understand the action, but why would I want to play as her? I don't. That's not to say that playing as her wasn't fun, because playing as her was still fun because the gameplay is fun. It didn't matter who the character is. The gameplay is always going to be fun no matter who you're playing as. But that doesn't change the fact that for that second half of the game, I didn't care about anything that was happening. I was just trying to get through it to get to the next part of the game that had to actually do with Ellie. Because I care about Ellie and I don't give two flying fucks about Abby. Playing as Abby in this game is the equivalent of playing God of War 2. And in the beginning of the game, Thor crushes Kratos' head with Mjolnir. And then for 50% of that game, you are forced to play as Thor, and they try to make you like Thor and sympathize with Thor after he fucking caved in Kratos' skull. Why would you want to do that? You wouldn't. And guess what? I didn't. Then to add insult to injury, towards the end of the game, you're forced to play a boss fight against Ellie as Abby, where you beat the ever-living shit out of Ellie. The boss fight's also a pain in the ass, by the way. It's a fucking difficult, pain in the dick, multi-stage boss fight. But it's a boss fight where you beat the shit out of Ellie. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to beat the shit out of a character that you care for? You wouldn't. I don't give a fuck what they're trying to make me feel. I don't care if they're trying to make me sympathize with Abby or see from her point of view. Nothing they show me is gonna make me wanna punch Ellie in the face or beat her fucking face in. But the game makes you do it. And this in no way made the game better or more great or more amazing or more epic or better in any way. It was just the game forcing me to beat the shit out of someone that I care for. And I think it was a miscalculation on Naughty Dog's part. I think them trying to make you sympathize with Abby or feel for Abby or all this Abby bullshit really didn't do anything to make the game better. I think this would have been a much better game had they simplified the story. Abby kills Joel in front of Ellie. Ellie spends the course of the game hunting down people, trying to get to Abby, and at the end of the game, you find Abby, and then you either kill her or let her go, or whatever Naughty Dog decides, but that's the resolution of the game. I think that would have been a much more enjoyable game, because that's pretty much what the first half of the game is. And when I was playing the first half of the game, I was like, yo, people saying that this story sucks are fucking crazy, because that first half of the game, the story was great. And if they would have just extended that for the entire game, I think it would have been a better game overall. Here's how I feel about this. See, Naughty Dog are not great storytellers. They are great at telling stories. Does that make sense? Let me say it again. Naughty Dog are not great storytellers. They are great at telling stories. The story from the first game is not amazing or incredible or original. It was just told in such a way that it became one of the greatest stories in gaming history. But the story is nothing crazy. The story is pretty much this. During a viral outbreak, a man loses his daughter. Years later, the man has to escort a young girl who is immune to the virus across the country so they can use her to develop a vaccine. Over the course of their journey, they develop a deep father-daughter relationship. They basically begin to love one another. When they reach their final destination, he finds out that in order to create the vaccine, they would have to kill her. This man cannot lose another daughter, even if she's not his real daughter. He loves her too much to let her die and decides he won't allow him to do it, and he kills everybody and saves her. Then he lies to her about what happened. When she asks him at the very end, "Swear to me that everything you said was true," he says, "I swear." And that's the end of the game. Not a crazy story, not an incredible story, not an original story, but it was told in such a fantastic fucking way that it is one of the best stories in gaming history. With this game, I feel like Naughty Dog somehow thought that there were these deep, thoughtful, insightful, artsy storytellers telling this woven web of this happening and that happening, and I think they just tried to do too much in this game, and it just didn't work for me. The story, it didn't work for me as well as it could have had they cut out a lot of shit. And this is my opinion, of course. You may love the story start to finish. I didn't love it start to finish. I didn't hate it. I just don't think it was as good as it could have been, because I think certain aspects of it could have just been taken out or didn't need to be there, or was them thinking that they're clever or artsy or smart. Like, it reminds me of this scene from South Park. Like, I can literally picture Neil Druckmann at Naughty Dog just sniffing his own farts, thinking it's the greatest thing he's ever smelled. Like, that's just the feeling I got as I was playing this game, is like, whoever wrote this story, they must think that they're so clever and deep and artsy, and it's like, they're really not, you know? But anyway, this is the story they gave us. And like I said, it's not a terrible story. It's not even a bad story. It's a good story. It's just not a fantastic story. I also wanted to point out that anybody who thought there was going to be some type of like SJW agenda in this game, there really isn't. Like, Ellie and Dina's lesbian relationship is not shoved in your face. It's just part of the story. It's not really pushing anything. Even the trans character and their story arc isn't like shoved in your face bullshit. I mean, was it unnecessary? Yeah. Did the story need it? No. Was it clearly them virtue signaling? Yes. But it wasn't shoved in your face. Like, I don't like agendas and SJW bullshit, and when I played through the game, I didn't feel like anything was being pushed on me or forced on me or anything like that. So anyone that was worried about that, not really an issue. Oh, and another thing I'm gonna bitch about really quick. The Abby sex scene. Dude, was the Abby sex scene really necessary, Naughty Dog? Like, when Dina and Ellie had sex, it was implied sex. Like, they started making out heavily, and then they kind of laid down out of frame, and then it cut to them the next day lying together in bed, implying that they totally just fucked. But no, with Abby, no, we don't get an implied sex scene. Oh, no. We straight up see fucking Abby's tits, which are less tits and more pecs. So yeah, we see Abby's he, she, man titties.
Oh, do you find me sexy? Oh, look at my titties. Oh,
And Owen straight bends her over and starts fucking her doggy style. It's short, but still, like, why? Why was that necessary, Naughty Dog? Nobody wanted to see Abby naked. Why did you show me her he, she, man titties? I didn't want to see those. You could have done the same implied sex scene that you did with Ellie and Dina. That's the classy way to do it. That's the way it's been done in TV and movies for fucking forever. It is the classy way to do it, where it's implied that they totally just fucked and we don't have to see anything. But no, you show us fucking Abby's he-she man titties, and she's built like a fucking dude, so it straight up looks like Owen's just bending over a dude with a ponytail and fucking him in the ass. That's legit what it looks like. Thanks for that, Naughty Dog. Totally unnecessary, no idea why it's in the game, but hey, that's your artistic choice, I guess. I don't know why you decided to do it the classy route with Ellie and Dina, and then with Abby and Owen decided to fucking show us her he-she man titties, and it was just, it didn't do it for me. I'll tell you that. I was kind of like, why are you showing me this, Naughty Dog? What have I done to deserve this? I bought your game. I gave you money. Why am I seeing this? Also, the boat sections of the game were cool, but the boat handled like absolute dog shit. Like, I hated the way the boat handled. It handled like shit. And I was actually kind of also disappointed with the open Seattle area. Everybody kept making this big deal about the open Seattle area and saying it's kind of like Uncharted Lost Legacy, when Uncharted Lost Legacy has that open map area. The difference is, I think the open map area in Uncharted Lost Legacy is much, much larger than the open map area in The Last of Us 2. And in The Last of Us 2, it just kind of felt like it was unnecessary. Like, there was no point to that area. Everything is optional. There's only 2 buildings you need to go to. Like, hey, I had fun with it. I'm not going to sit here in front and say that I didn't have fun exploring that area. But it just felt more like game padding than anything else. Like in Uncharted Lost Legacy, in that open map area, you had to go to all the areas of the map and explore every single area in order to progress with the game. In Last of Us 2, you only need to go to 2 buildings and you could just skip the rest. I don't know, maybe it's just a me problem, but I was expecting more for all the hype that I heard about this open area. And like I said, I had fun playing it and playing that area, but I was expecting more. Now let me talk about the ending of this game, because it really did annoy the shit out of me. Because after Abby spares Ellie a second time, because at the beginning, when Ellie's being pinned down and Abby kills Joel, the rest of the Washington Liberation Front people want to kill Ellie, and Abby says let her go. They knock her out, so Abby spares her life. Then, during their little boss fight where you're forced to beat the shit out of Ellie, Abby lets Ellie go a second time. Now it's months later, and Ellie is living on a farm with Dina. They're raising Jesse's kid because Dina was pregnant with Jesse's kid. So they have a family now, you know, they live in this beautiful house, in this farmhouse. They have this family, they have this kid, you know, but Ellie just can't get the vision of Joel being killed out of her head, and she has nightmares. And Tommy comes over with a location for where Abby might be. I'm gonna go ahead and say that again. Might be. And Ellie is willing to throw away everything in order to travel to Santa Barbara to where Abby might be so that she can kill Abby. She's willing to throw away a life with a woman that she loves and a family to get this revenge. And at this point in the game, you no longer want revenge for Ellie. Like in the beginning of the game, as Ellie, you're like, I'm gonna fucking murder all these motherfuckers. But at this point in the game, you no longer want that for Ellie. I mean, look at all the shit that's happened. Jesse's been killed. All these people have been killed. Tommy's fucking permanently disfigured because Abby shot him in the back of the fucking head. At this point, you don't want anything else for Ellie. She's living with Dina. They're happy. They have a life and a family. You don't want her to go get revenge anymore. Like, that shit's over. Like, there's been so much death and destruction that's been caused from both her and Abby trying to get revenge that at this point it's just ridiculous now. It's over. It's done. But no, Ellie has to throw it all away. Dina straight up tells her, like, if I'm not doing this again if you fucking leave. And Ellie leaves. And I don't know where they're living in this farmhouse. I don't know if that's also in Washington. All I know is that wherever she was coming from was still hella far from Santa Barbara, because she wrote in her journal about passing through fucking Las Vegas and hiding from hordes and all kinds of shit. And when she finally gets to Santa Barbara, she finds out that Abby has been kidnapped by this other group there called the Rattlers. So what does Ellie decide that she's going to do? She decides that she's going to risk her life to break into an enemy compound to save Abby, to then kill Abby. What kind of fucking sense does that make? How does that make any fucking sense? It doesn't. And when I found out that's what you had to do, I was like, are you fucking serious? I'm gonna go into this place, rescue this girl, and then kill this girl? It's fucking stupid. It is beyond fucking stupid. And then, of course, what happens is you get there and you find out that Abby's been fucking like put up on these weird pole things on the beach because she tried to escape. So her and Lev are being punished by being put up on these poles. She's been there for God knows how long. When you get there, she's fucking skinny as hell. Like, she used to be like buff, but she's super skinny because she's been there for God knows how long. So you end up just cutting her down, and then you let her and Lev go. And then they get in a boat, and then you get in a boat. But then Ellie has a flash of Joel dying again, and she decides, no, I can't let them go. And then she decides to fight Abby again after she just rescued Abby and was about to let Abby go. Then she decides, no, I can't. Nah, I gotta kill this bitch. So then you start fighting Abby. And in this fight, Abby's all fucked up. Ellie's beat the shit out of. But you fight anyway, and they beat the shit out of each other. Abby bites off 2 of Ellie's fingers. And then Ellie lets her go again. Then Ellie returns to her farmhouse, sans 2 fingers, and the house is empty. Dina has left. Ellie has lost the woman that she loves, her family, her life, and 2 fingers. She can't even play the fucking guitar anymore. All for what? For what? And I understand that's the point of the game. The point of the game is violence begets violence. How much are you willing to pay for your pound of flesh? I understand that. That doesn't change the fact that the ending of this game annoyed the ever-loving shit out of me. And then the very last thing you see is a flashback of Ellie talking to Joel, where she says that she can't forgive him for lying to her about the Fireflies. And then she says, but she would like to try. And Joel says that he would like that, and they're both on the verge of tears, and that's the end of the game. Again, it's Neil Druckmann sniffing his own fucking farts. Because it was this fucking stupid, artsy, twisty fucking narrative that in the end was not satisfying to anybody. And the end of the game really annoyed the shit out of me. All of that being said, though, this is still a fantastic game that I say is a 7 or an 8 out of 10. And it was still a lot of fun to play, as annoying as the story beats were, and as annoying as some things in the story may have been. The game, to me, was still extremely fun, and I had a lot of fun playing it. And for the $60, to get 25 hours of game for $60, and not only that, to get 25 hours of the best looking game you're ever going to see on a console this generation. Like, totally worth the $60 if you ask me. Totally worth the $60. If you don't want to pay full price and wait till it goes on sale to pick it up, then do that. But if you are a PlayStation 4 owner and a fan of these third-person narrative-driven games, or a fan of the Uncharted games or the original Last of Us, and you don't pick this game up, you're just doing yourself a disservice. Because even though the story is not fantastic, this is still probably one of the best games of this generation, and easily one of the best looking games you're ever going to play on your PlayStation 4. And for me, a very fun and enjoyable game. So, I don't know. A lot of people are hating on it. I think it's getting a lot more hate than it deserves. Like I said in the beginning, I think had this game not had the leaks, that people's attitude towards the game would be entirely different. I also think that it's fucking 2020 and people just want something to bitch about, and they'll bitch about anything because people nowadays just enjoy bitching. And when you have a game like this, it's just a really large target for people to bitch about. But hey, this is my opinion on the game. You may have played the game and hated every last second of it and think it's one of the worst games ever made. I do not share that opinion. I think this is one of the best games I've ever played. It just doesn't have one of the best stories I've ever experienced, if that makes sense. Because the gameplay and the animations and everything else in the game are so fucking good that it makes up for the places where the story lacks, and it makes up for the few things in the game that I didn't really like or that may have annoyed me a little bit. Because everything else, like I said, is so good. Like, the game is just really good. It is one of the most polished, top tier quality games you'll ever experience. Like, every second of this game, you can see where the crunch came in. You can see, oh yeah, the crunch, okay, I can see crunch there, I can see crunch there, I can see crunch there, because everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, it is just pure polish and exceptional quality. And we can have a conversation about whether or not crunch culture is good or not, but you can't argue with the results, because this is without a doubt one of the most polished games that you will ever play. And that's my review of The Last of Us Part 2. Well, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next Supernova.